Hey, Barack. I just wanted to thank you for FaceTiming with me today. I've been working very hard to make sure that Americans feel that I am better than Donald Trump at handling different pandemics like the ones that we're doing right now. Yes, Joe, you are doing a great job at creating a great framework of how you will be in the Oval Office if you get elected. I couldn't agree more, but I do think I have a problem, Brock. Oh, what is that, Joe? Well, with this whole, coronavirus thing, it has been so distracting that I swear to you, there was something before this that I was doing. Oh, yes, before the virus started happening. Like, going out, meeting people, making them vote for you in the Democratic primary. Joe, it is called an Oh, yes, that's it. I was planning on going to the Phillies opening day game, but it got canceled. So, wait, no. There was something before that, I believe. I still don't know what it is in my brain. I've been racking my brain. Joe, listen. You are running for... I haven't run in anything in years. I don't know what you're talking about, Barack. What am I missing? I swear there's something that I'm missing. I can't think about it. This is CNN. Hi, I'm Wolf Blitzer, and we have breaking news that it now seems that Bernie Sanders will be dropping out of the presidential election. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm running for president. And with Bernie Sanders out, that means, you may be the nominee, Joe. Isn't that exciting? The nominee of what? Why did I stop talking? Why'd you stop talking? What's going on here? Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with our very 22nd episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm happy to be here, and I hope that you are happy to be here as well. And if you are happy to be here as well, make sure you do what good listeners do, which means hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are almost to 50 subscribers. The last time I checked, we were at 48 subscribers. I really want to get it to 50, okay? That's like half 100. That's huge for us. And hopefully after we hit that 50 mark, we'll be able to reach 100 very, very quickly. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and also share the Dockery Docket with your friends. So then we can finally get to 50 subscribers, because we've been waiting for a long time for this. So, with the whole coronavirus taking over all the major news outlets, it seems that we were missing something as the American people. We have forgotten something very important, that there is an election going on to see who will face off against Donald Trump in the 2020 election. How could we have possibly forgotten about the 2020 election? It was one of the most important news stories of our lifetime. Until the virus came and almost ruined it, but I guess the life and safety of our fellow Americans is also important. It seemed like the election process just came to a halt, and all of a sudden, no one was going out and campaigning anymore. All of a sudden, no one was talking to people. The news media stopped covering Joe Biden. They stopped covering Bernie Sanders and all this. And it was like, we'll come back to you as soon as we can. And then something big happened in the election, and everyone is like, oh yeah, that did happen. We were right in the middle of that until our lives were totally flipped upside down, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So luckily for you today, dear viewer, I'm going to be taking a break from talking about the coronavirus news, and I hope that it is sort of a relief to you as the virus continues to be on everyone's mind. And I think that it is good to take a break from that sometimes. You know, we can come back to it next week or the week before that, but I know that you're sitting at home, you're listening to this, and you're thinking, gosh, if Kyle Dockery talks about the coronavirus one more time, I swear I'm going to scream. I know all of you are thinking that. So I want to talk about something else. You know, we sort of did that last week. We talked a little bit about the coronavirus, and we also talked about, Donald Trump and all of the situations that have been going on with him and the media. But this week, I want to talk about the Democratic election, which I think is very, very important. I still think it's important, even though the coronavirus is absolutely going crazy. So the big news that got everyone's attention was that Bernie Sanders dropped out of the election. Woo! And if anyone knows anything about me or this channel, you would know that I was very saddened by this news. It is not like I made a whole episode talking about how Bernie Sanders is a monster that lives inside Democrats' closets, or that I would rather have a sack of potatoes than him be the president of the United States. Of course I'm happy by this news. I woke up on Wednesday and I saw the news and I literally jumped out of bed because I was so excited. My mom came into my room and I was like, "Mom, it's the greatest day ever." And she was like, "Well, why is that?" And I said, "Because Bernie Sanders dropped out of the election. So, sadly, we won't see a devout socialist be our president for at least 4 more years," which is very, very exciting. Okay, so enough about me. So why was it that Bernie's campaign, that seems so strong, all of a sudden crumble to the ground? Well, on Wednesday, there was a Democratic race in Wisconsin, which had its own controversy as the Supreme Court said that people could not vote absentee ballot, which led to people standing in long lines 6 feet apart. It was a very strange election, and I wish they would have done it a different way, or even have done it by mail, or they would have just said, "We're canceling this for right now because we need to make sure that people are safe." I feel like people would understand that. And, people ask Donald Trump, "What do you say to the Democrats who are trying to do elections right now?" And if Donald Trump says, "No, I don't think they should do the ballots. I don't think they should do anything right now. Wait." Then people will be like, well, he's trying to interfere with the election. So Trump is sort of like, let Wisconsin do what Wisconsin does. And that's important. And also, Donald Trump has this thing against mail-in ballots, which I don't like. I will say it right now. I think that mail-in ballots are okay. We need some more security in the mail-in ballots because, of course, people can cheat. Anyone can cheat in an election. But anyway, so in 2016, Bernie Sanders won Wisconsin very big, and it was reported by Fox News because of the situations with the virus. The results won't be released till next week, but early voting showed that the final public opinion polls before Tuesday's contest suggested Biden leading the progressive senator by nearly 2-1 margin. It seemed that the senator was losing the momentum, and all of the momentum was going to Joe Biden. So this led to, on Wednesday, Bernie finally saw the writing on the wall and decided that it was his time to drop out of the election, which was absolutely fantastic. As I said, I was very, very happy about this. Bernie started in his farewell address that we are now 300 delegates behind Vice President Biden, and the path towards victory is virtually impossible. I have concluded that this battle for the Democratic nomination will not be successful, which is very true. And the only reason that Bernie was staying in the election was so then maybe during the convention he could use his electoral votes to make a scene, and if Joe Biden becomes disoriented, Bernie could then come and sweep in the nomination. But it seems like, as of right now, that is not going to happen. But the thing is that Bernie's name is still on the ballots in these different states coming up. So that means that Bernie could possibly get more delegates, and this could lead to the Democratic platform being more progressive. So you'll see a lot of people saying, still vote for Bernie, because if he gets enough delegates, then he will have an impact at the convention, and then the party could turn more progressive, even though Joe Biden isn't that way. But we will talk about that later on. So the difference from this round and the 2016 round is that it took Bernie longer to drop out. And everyone could tell that the party was cheering for Hillary. With the superdelegates, Hillary would win a state of New York, and then all of a sudden she'd get 100 more bonus points. The superdelegates were like bonus points, and Hillary kept getting all these bonus points. And Bernie was like, what the heck is this? But for this election, there were no superdelegates. So the party couldn't throw their support behind one candidate like they did before. So all they had to do was force all the other candidates to drop out and back Joe Biden, and then everything else would be a cakewalk for Joe Biden. And it was a cakewalk, as now there is only one man in the race, and that is Joe Biden. And all he had to do was debate Bernie Sanders once. And now all he has to do is just sit and wait until this quarantine is over. So he's just chilling in his basement, waiting and hoping that he won't have to do another rally, because we all know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, that Joe Biden struggles with rallies. He'll go up there for 15 minutes and then be like, okay, I'm done, I'm coming down, and, he'll ramble on and on about kids touching his leg hair and stuff. It's awkward. Joe Biden is just an awkward character. However, there have been some interesting things that have been coming out about Joe Biden during this quarantine time. And it's amazing that this news story would have been big if the quarantine wasn't happening. But because the quarantine is happening, guess what? Joe Biden, you're off the hook. So last year, many women have come out and said that Joe Biden had touched women in an inappropriate way. And we have all seen these pictures where he is kissing women, smelling women's hair, etc., etc. However, there was more information that came out about a woman named Tara Reade. She said at first that it was just some touching, it was touching inappropriately, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, he sexually assaulted me. But it got worse. And as she said in an interview with the podcast host Katie Halper, Reade says Biden sexually assaulted her, pushing her against the wall and penetrating her with his fingers. When she pulled away, she says that he said that he thought she liked him. And so I believe at this point that Biden was probably married. Biden probably had kids. So doing this is very inappropriate. It's a bad reputation on the Joe Biden campaign, as the campaign denied Reade's report by saying, women have a right to tell their story, and reporters have an obligation to rigorously vet their claims. Deputy Campaign Manager Kate Bedingfield said in a statement, we encourage them to do so, because these accusations are false. Now, this is a very, very, very different tone from when Brett Kavanaugh was accused of sexual assault by Christine Blasey Ford. Joe Biden said, for a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, we've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she's talking about is real. Whether or not she forgets the facts, whether or not it's been made worse or better over time. So does Joe Biden believe Tara Reade? Do you think that Joe Biden should believe his accuser and drop out of the race? Because he said it right there. We should have the presumption that Tara Reade is telling the truth. Why is it that this is a double standard for the Joe Biden campaign and also for Joe Biden as a person? But that won't happen. Joe Biden will not drop out yet. And once again, Joe Biden is very lucky that this happened during the virus, as this was completely swept under the rug. So along with this, we know from the past that it seems that Joe Biden has not been all there, as he seems to continue to flip and flop on different policy points. For example, just recently, Donald Trump had this outrageous idea of blocking people from coming over from China while the coronavirus was happening. When this happened, Joe Biden called Donald Trump xenophobic. And there was no reason at all for the president to block people from coming into the country. It was only later that we realized that this did help us a little bit to help slow the spread of the disease. He didn't just say that Trump was a xenophobe for this, but later on, he said that 45 other countries blocked China before Trump did. And he said that Trump moved too slow. So which one is it, Joe? Was he too late, or was he xenophobic? And along with this, Joe Biden is now trying to flip his campaign points to start wooing younger Democratic voters that hopefully don't care about sexual assault or the idea that Joe Biden doesn't know where he is half the time. The biggest question right now is, how will Joe Biden appeal to the young Bernie voters? He is trying to do this by backing lowering the Medicaid eligibility age from 65 to 60, while also pledging to cancel student debt for many low and middle income borrowers. However, many progressives are not okay with this. They believe that Joe Biden doesn't go as far as Bernie does. Because what the Bernie supporters want is free healthcare, free school, free lunches, free everything. And Joe Biden is the same person and knows that these plans won't work. So what is Joe Biden going to do? What I personally think that Joe Biden is going to do is that he is going to pick a progressive running mate. We've already known recently, and he's probably going to pick his running mate on Monday because I'm recording this now, but I heard that recently in the week coming up, he will announce his nominee. So we're going to play a game of prediction. I am filming this on Friday. It is 7:22 p.m. And I'm going to say right now that Joe Biden will pick Kamala Harris to be his running mate. Okay? Kamala Harris is a woman. Joe Biden wants to have a female vice president. She's also a person of color, which also is what Joe Biden wanted. They had a little bit of a rocky relationship, but I think that will be the best candidate to pick for Joe Biden. You know, she has some experience in California, but she's not very progressive. I think that if Biden wants a more progressive candidate to be his VP, he would pick Elizabeth Warren. But we'll just have to wait for that. But I'm very excited for that. Even Michigan's governor is in the running to be the vice presidential nominee, which, I mean, a lot of people from Michigan like her, right? No, they don't. That's another story for another day, which I don't even want to touch that with a 69.5-foot pole. So anyway, this has led once again, just like it was in 2016 for the Democratic Party, to be split. And I've seen many things on Twitter, many people on Twitter saying that they won't vote for Biden and that they would rather not vote at all than vote for him. Others are saying vote blue no matter who. So the split in the party is very deep, and I think that the only way to fix this is if the party accepts Bernie's idea into the platform of the party or nominates someone with Bernie's ideas in mind. This, of course, will not happen this time around, and this split was something that also happened in 2016 and could possibly lead to a Trump victory in 2020, which I really think will happen. However, for me personally, I am very excited to see the debates, because I think Donald Trump will look like a scholar compared to Joe Biden, but maybe Joe Biden will get his act together and not make more gaffes and that make him look like a dummy, but chances are he won't, and the media will definitely have to cover up for him somehow. But for that, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Is Bernie may not be able to catch up to Joe Biden, but he's still on the ballot in some of these states, as I said before, so he can win some more delegates. And maybe Democrats have a dark horse in the race as well. There are many people saying that Andrew Cuomo could be a new dark horse candidate for the Democrats. You know, a dark horse candidate is someone who's sort of in the background. No one is expecting them to come out, and then during the convention, they come out and they sweep everyone off their feet and they say, yes, we need him. And Andrew Cuomo has been really showing himself off during this whole coronavirus epidemic, pandemic that has been happening, and people are appreciating him. Even though I think he's not a very good governor, but apparently Democrats like him. So we will just have to all wait and see for all of that stuff, which I'm very, very excited about. And for this episode, I want to thank you for listening to the Dockery Docket, for liking, subscribing, and sharing my content on social media. It truly means so much to me. I believe we are growing bigger and stronger than ever before, so make sure you stay in touch by following me on Twitter and on Instagram. So, until next week, at Tuesday at noonish. Like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving. Goodbye.